Yep, that's it. Yep. And I'll watch you do, make sure. Just tap that green button first. Put it in front of the screen, and it should recognize your name. Might have to get a little closer. Let's see it. Let me see it. You might have to look at it. It's like it's cut off or something. Oh, yeah, it is. You mind bring up that original email? I'll show you. I'll save it. You bring in that original email, and I'll show you how to save it.
Who's downloading the app that whole time?
Oh,
yeah. Where's that?
Is this the email that I sent? Yeah, just bring up the email, and then I'll. It's going to be in your RVC.
Okay, there we go.
Get it?
Yeah.
All right.
Had to get something else.
Okay, you're good then. You can go ahead.
I want to click that link.
Yeah. Let me look here to make sure. Is this your RBC now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, this is Eagle. You want your Rock Valley College. You got to get to that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, 4:30. How's everybody doing? This is CIS280. If you're in the wrong class, you can stay if you want to. But we'll go and get started. My name is Professor Chuck Conkle. Be with you guys the next and gals the next 15, 16 weeks, roughly. And anybody get to see the eclipse today, or on TV at least? It's all covered in clouds. I tried a few times. Carbondale's a pretty awesome view, though. Man, oh man, that place is crazy. My son lives in Springfield, Missouri, and he was driving back from St. Louis on Saturday, and I-44 that goes to between Springfield, Missouri, and St. Louis. People are already camping out there on the highway for the eclipse, and so pretty cool. I remember I was in 6th grade the last time it came. I was in Missouri. We actually made the little arts and crafts boxes to view the eclipse. I think a lot of people use their glasses, or you could have used your phone to view it, like a selfie. If you view the sun behind you, that would have worked as well. Made a lot of money off those glasses this year. A lot of money off those glasses. In fact, Carbondale make a lot of money because they charge on for parking on the parking lot, but also the grass. So any spots that were open, they made a buck. Made some bucks off that. So, but I think they were 100% saturation. St. Louis and a number of others, but not a lot. So pretty cool. I think in 7 years it's going to happen again in that location. If I'm not mistaken. Is that right? Wilmington. So yeah. So if you didn't get a chance this time, in 7 years you will. All right. Well, this is programming iOS mobile app development. Tonight we're just going to get started on intro. Make sure everybody knows how to check in. If you've not checked in yet, before you leave, after we're done, come on up and I'll show you how to do it. You should have got a QR code I emailed to you in your RVC email, not your Eagle email, but your RVC email. And we use that to check in up front. It'll be ready by 4:15. And so if you come in anytime between 4:15 and 4:30, you can check in. It'll be ready for you. But tonight being the first night, don't feel bad if you've not checked in yet. You can do so before you leave. And then I just want to go over the Eagle page, some stuff on week 1 to get you started. Kind of an overview, though, really, as far as the structure of the class. We'll start at 4:30. Between 4:30 and 5:15 will be discussion over that week's content, what we'll be talking about, what we'll be learning in Swift. Swift is a programming language you'll be learning this semester. It's a brand new programming language. Just came out in 2014. Apple created it. And the thoughts of having newer developers, younger developers, wanting to try coding. Before that, they had what's called Objective-C language, which was a really difficult language to learn for an introductory student. But Swift is a fun language, I think. It's a really fun language, and you might have, seen stories online or on TV of, grade school, middle school kids creating really awesome apps with Swift. It's a very powerful language, but it's fun to learn, and hopefully this semester you'll find that to be true. As far as hardware requirements for the class, we're going to be using Macs. If you don't have a Mac, the lab times will be posted tonight. I'll email everybody what the lab times are for this lab here. You can survive not having a Mac and just do your homework here, easy. Most of the time, if the classes aren't, anytime the classes aren't offered in here, it's basically going to be your time slot to be in here. It's going to be reserved for you guys. And so I would say on average for this class, it started in spring 2013, 60 to 65% of the students don't have a Mac coming in. They do just fine. Okay, just doing it here on campus. Yes?
Are there Macs in the library as well?
Yes, there are. It doesn't have, I don't believe they have Xcode on them though. Like you need that, which is the next thing I'll talk about, which is the development platform. They don't have it on that. Now I do have, and I am able to do this to help you if you don't have time to come to the lab, but you have a newer PC laptop, like within the last year or two. I do have a way to install Mac OS and Xcode on your computer. So if you're interested in doing that, I'll be putting, how many would be interested in doing that, by the way? Just raise a hand. You'd be interested in doing that. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes to an hour at the most to set that up on your computer. But once it's set up, you can basically use it on your PC. You have a button on your desktop that's VMware that you start up. You can start up a full-fledged operating system, Mac OS, and get started. So if you want to do that, I'll just shoot out an email tonight with the lab hours on times that I'd like to do it. More likely it'll be like a Saturday morning, which is best for me, I know, but hopefully for you as well. It works around your school schedule better. And morning, I don't mean like 7 o'clock in the morning, it'd be like 10 to noon or 11 to noon or something like that. I'll probably do that next month a few times. I'll offer it for anybody who wants to do that. That way, if you don't have a Mac, you can use that. And it does work really well. And it doesn't cost anything. You just have to have a hard drive space. You have to have, I believe, about 80 gigs free on your hard drive. And so for it to be installed. So anyway, if you're interested, I don't always have students sometimes feel tempted they need to go buy a Mac. You don't really need to do that. Now, if you do have somebody helping pay for your school or financial aid, it is part of the requirement of the course, and so you can use that if you wanted to use it to buy hardware because it's in the requirements. And so, but as far as what I suggest to buy when you get ready to buy a Mac is first generation developers. I always tell them the Mac Minis is a really good one. Now, it's not an iPad that you can carry around or a tablet you can carry around or a laptop, but you can install it on your home high definition television via HDMI and keyboard, mouse, wireless, and they're really reasonable. They start out about $500, $550. For a Mac, that's very reasonable. So it's comparable to entry level PC. And so I don't recommend you going out and buying, or don't quote me on say you told me how to buy a new MacBook. You don't need that. You don't need a new iMac like these here. But I do like the Mac Minis, which you might not have ever heard of. It basically is about this big and about that tall. And you can check them out at Best Buy. They have them there on stock you can play with. The same insides of what you're in front of today and of a MacBook. So getting that out of the way, hopefully that eases your mind. If you don't have a Mac, don't worry about it. You'll do fine. You generally only have one programming assignment a week, or you do only have one programming assignment a week. And week one is generally just getting started. So this week we'll have no programming assignment due per se, as far as a full-fledged application. But starting week two, you will. And so, but again, we do baby steps on it. And when I get my new we got 20 some iPads coming in. In fact, 20 iPads coming in. When I get the 20 new iPads in my hands, you will be all getting a new iPad to take home to do some reading, some lessons, play with your apps on it, things like that. Also, you'll have that all semester to use for the class. And so that'll be nice. I wrote a grant for that. And so if you already have an iPad, you don't have to take this one. But if you don't have one, which most of you probably don't, you can take this home with you to learn app development and to test your apps. So that's basically once 5:15 rolls around, after that, we go into in-class app that goes along with what we're discussing. Before you come to class, like before week two, there'll be some reading that we'll go over tonight on what I require you to read. Have that kind of in your mind when you come to class. At least skim over it. You have an idea of what we're going to be talking about. There are a lot of good resources, by the way, out there that I'll go over tonight, both on my website, Apple's website, for Apple developers, for new Apple developers, like video-based tutorials, tons of resources. Apple just came out, and we are using it this semester. You might have heard it in the news or on our website. We're promoting, in fact, I've got it on our homepage. I'll show you here. So basically, it's the app development with Swift. It's a new curriculum that Apple just came out with, and it works specifically with iPads. What's cool about it is, the reason I like it is you go through your reading, and then you do you do code on the iPad. It's real code, but it actually shows you right after you do a reading what it looks like and how it works, and then you have to kind of tweak it or create some of your own, which is nice. So it's a good way to learn. In programming, it's always good to, I think, to have a visual of what you're learning about immediately, of what it should look like, and then you'll be able to go in and play with it. And Swift does have a thing that we'll be starting this week, actually looking at a little bit, and next week and week 3 and 4, called Playgrounds. And that's what it sounds like it is. It's basically, or is like it sounds, it's a playground to learn coding that Apple's created in Xcode to learn the syntax for the language, which means basically just how you use the code, how you like say declare an integer or a float or a double or a string, how you bring in animation, and it's a playground to see how stuff works, basically. It's not really an app that you can run on a phone. It's a playground within Xcode that you can play with. But anyway, they've taken that playground and they placed it in an iPad app called Swift Playgrounds that you can play around with Swift on an iPad. So the reason I like that this semester is since you'll have the iPads, for those of you who don't have Macs, you'll be able to actually keep your learning rich as you're going home and on the weekends with this iPad, being able to see things as they work. And so hopefully you'll enjoy that. And I think Apple worked with about 50 to 75 community colleges, and we've been on board since day one with development. And so you'll like it. It's a lot of fun. And if you've never played with an iPad, which you maybe never have an iOS device at all, you'll like it. It's a lot of fun, pretty intuitive. And what's cool about it is, beyond learning it, when you guys add your apps to the iPad, you'll be able to take them home and run them immediately. And first week here, we'll talk about it. If you have folks at home or friends that have an iOS device, all I need is some information from them, and they can also run your apps as well immediately. You're like, well, I really don't want them to see my apps on week 2, but but you get what I'm saying. So forward fast to the end of the semester, starting about week 11 or 12, I think it's 12, you guys began to work on your final app the last few weeks, which is an app that you want to create for yourself to use or to sell on the App Store or free on the App Store, which I always suggest students first time out of the chute to do a free one. In fact, if you think about it, I know all of you use apps in here. The apps that make the most money is from a developer standpoint is free apps that have in-app purchases, right? What they do is they hook you with the free app with a free 10 levels, let's say, or 5 levels of a game, if it's a game. And then to get the other levels or the other characters or power-ups or whatever, you have to pay for each one of those. An example, Candy Crush. Oh my gosh. I'm not even going to ask if you're hooked on Candy Crush because there probably are those in here that are, and you don't want to be. But I know a lot of people are really hooked on Candy Crush. I personally have never played it. I've never played Candy Crush. I know it's like a TV show now and a whole bunch of stuff. But that app is a good example, though, of in-app purchases because you can either wait to life up or whatever they call it, or you can pay to not wait, basically. And they make a lot of money doing that. And so you will learn with that app that you've created at the end of the semester. It won't be like 100% complete. Don't expect it to be 100% complete. It's going to be like a prototype of what you want to work on, to where hopefully you'll keep working on it. Because a number of my students in spring 2013 to take the course keep working on it over the years. Might take a year to do, 2 years maybe possibly, but then finally publish it to the App Store. And so that's the hope anyway. Now, another thing I want to kind of throw out there before we get started as far as developers in general, because some of you are here maybe to become a developer, to do this for a living, or at least maybe make some money maybe in the future you're thinking of. Most developers that make a living as a developer like myself, even though I have apps on the App Store, I make my money developing apps for companies, locally, regionally, worldwide, that never reach the App Store. Because a lot of companies will want custom apps for their salespeople, for marketing. And they don't want it on the App Store because their competitor would have their secrets and what they sell and all the good stuff. And so underneath the App Store ecosystem that a lot of people don't know about, and you guys are going to get inside information tonight, where most developers, 99.9% of developers make money is outside the App Store. Working for companies, developing apps, maintaining apps, that's where you make your living. Does that make sense? Whether it be consulting, whether it be full-time development. And here in Rockford, we do have a number of developer companies, mobile developer companies. In fact, while I'm talking about that, the Tech Expo is coming up, which maybe some of you have registered for already. I recommend if you haven't, October 24th. One of the guys going to be speaking there is from Trek Mobile. Trek is a great company. I met them when I first came to Rockford in 2000. It's a local company that has evolved over time. It started out in just marketing and web only, but now they do mobile app development. But they hire our students for interns and students who come through this class. And so he's going to speak that night, though, about the importance of learning mobile app development, kind of some of the jobs they do, how much money they make, the skills required, and how to basically get into the business and mobile app development. So anyway, you'll enjoy that. Sam is a great, Bazil is a great speaker and has been doing mobile app development for a long time. And so that's what mobile app development is. Hopefully that clears your mind on what it's about, what Swift's about, what career-wise you can expect. The average pay for this area for mobile app developer, contract-wise, an intro developer, we'll say a year. You've taken this class, you know how to create an app, you know how to publish an app. You're looking at anywhere from $75 to $125 an hour for contract work. If you get hired from a company, you're looking at anywhere from 55 to 75 in that range to start out in Rockford. Now, if you go more south in Chicago or north to Madison, your range is going to get higher, but also the cost of living. And so a lot of developers like it to keep it local as much as possible. You don't make as much money, but you don't have to move. And so, and the cost of living hopefully is easier here on your pocketbook than it would be in Schaumburg or Madison, which a lot of people live in Rockford and travel those distances every day. So you can do that as well. But there is a lot of companies. One of the reasons we started Tech Expo was to show students you don't have to leave Rock Valley or Rockford region after you graduate. There are tons of tech companies here locally that hire students every semester. What I mean by that, like on average, on the MyRBC website, there's, if we go to the My Future, this was posted here recently on social media intern, but it's a local company, need a social media intern. And a lot of them start out, though, this one is no pay, but a lot of them start out with pay. And then if you like them, they like you. At the end of the semester or 2 semester time, or however long you work for them, you get an offer of a job. Anybody heard of Ingersoll here in town? A story I'll share about a student, Robert, who went to interview for a programming job at Ingersoll about 2 years ago. It was an internship. Went through 5 interviews, right? Because I told him it's going to, even though it's an internship, it's going to be just like you're getting hired in a place. So went through 5 interviews, but he got hired as an intern. And within 6 months, at the end of that semester, he was going on to NIU, which he did. They offered him a full-time job and to work around his NIU schedule for the next 2 years. And so he'd only been an intern for 6 months. It was a paid internship, by the way. They paid about $19, $20 an hour during that semester, which is good for an intern. And then when he came back, he was telling me, because I kept up with him, how he's doing and stuff, and he was really shocked that they offered him a job, because he thought for sure at the end of his tenure there and the internship and having to move to NIU or drive to NIU and have his classes, they wouldn't want him, couldn't do it anymore, couldn't work for him. They said, no, we'll work around it, and they did. And so that's just one out of many stories. On average, between 25 and 30 Rock Valley College students get hired, part-time or full-time, or internships each semester. And so as you follow us, which I'll go over in just a second, on social media, as soon as jobs come open, you can definitely post them and apply for them. Okay, well, let's go and go over the makeup of Eagle, some of the things that are been updated. Those of you who've been in Rock Valley maybe for a few semesters, the room numbers in this building have totally changed. I'm still getting used to them. Example, this room has changed. It used to be 151, 152. Now it's 1112. My office number I actually like. It used to be 262. Now it's 2222, which is easy to remember. But all the numbers have changed. I think it's a good thing, though. NIU RBC came in, and that plan of the students can take courses here and in tandem get a bachelor's degree with NIU. I think it's 3 years if they do it right, if I'm not mistaken. But we're doing a mobile app. Our class, 2 of my students are doing a mobile app. Hey, Seuss, where are you at? Okay, he's helped me out. And another student is doing an internship with me on this. We just started the ball rolling on it, but it's an NIU RBC app that we're creating for them. But the room numbers changed because of NIU coming on campus. And so if you see old numbers in my syllabus or online, forgive me, just let me know about them, though, and I'll correct it. My phone number here it's not direct to my cell number. It's a Google number, which I recommend you doing. If they still offer them to use, what it'll do is it'll send me a text message immediately of your voicemail or your text message, either one, and you can definitely use it. That's why I put it there. So if you have a question about anything, you don't have to email me, even though I check my emails often. We'll reply to you pretty quick. You can use the text message, and I have students that do that. There's my email. Periscope will be starting to use probably in week 2 or 3, probably week 3, I'll do like, since we only meet once a week, I'll do like a Q&A Periscope. And the reason I like to do it is it gets students, tech students like yourself, using technology that maybe you don't use all the time. And Periscope's one, video chat's one that I like to get students involved with on during the semester, so you get used to using them. Because in IT all the time we're doing video chats and video sessions. Even the interviews now are done. Like the last 2 or 3 people we've hired on campus were interviewed in like a Skype type of video type thing, which makes sense. Why fly a person here if you can do a Skype video or and some other type of video like FaceTime. Anybody used Periscope before, by the way, or heard of it? Okay. It's owned by Twitter, basically, Periscope is. And the steps are in here on how to set it up on your phone. It works for Droid or iOS, either one. And you do have to have a Twitter account to use Periscope. But yeah, I'd definitely go ahead and, even though I'm not going to have any for a few weeks, you can definitely go ahead and set it up and start playing with it and see what's out there. Course navigation, you can click on that after class and go over. It's pretty simple how to get around. Syllabus, you can read that after class as well. Open lab times, I will click on that. I'll be updating this because this is for last fall. I'll be updating it with the times for this semester. Deb's supposed to be sending me, and Deb Nelson's the lab person that's over the entire lab here. Really great person, and she's going to be emailing me the open times, and I'll update that and send it to you. If you have notifications, by the way, set up on Eagle. Anytime I post a new announcement, you should get that announcement in your inbox. And I do recommend setting up, you can install Eagle, or it's called Canvas. The app is called Canvas on your phone. If you just go to your app store and install Canvas. How many's already done that, by the way? Okay. If you've not done that, it's available for iOS or Droid. Once you install Canvas, which is the company that we use to host our courses, it'll ask you to put in the college information, which is Rock Valley College, and then you sign in with your S number password, and then it remembers it after that. And so you can check your emails and all that good stuff and announcements. So I recommend that. Facebook and Twitter, these are links to our iOS course, Facebook and Twitter. I'll just bring up Twitter here to show you some of the recent posts. Here's a welcome one. Welcoming you to fall 2017. You got this. But I post a lot. I'm over all of our social media for the division. So any events, job postings will be done on, you'll be getting it on this Twitter account, plus our my CIS Twitter account as well. So follow iOS course on Twitter, Facebook. Some of you have already joined the Facebook group, I know already. Live chat. If I'm online live, it'll say I'm logged in, but notice I'm not logged in. So, but right after class, I'll be logged in starting today. And generally, time-wise, I'm logged in is from like 9 a.m. to usually 10 p.m. You'll see it logged in here, and you can chat with me immediately. It'll come right to my phone. Course documents. This basically just goes over a whole slew of course documents that we're going to be using throughout the semester. I don't expect you to know in depth all of these course documents, because again, some of them we'll just be using as the semester goes on. Course discussion. This one is for you to post course and non-course related items. So like the eclipse, say you got a good picture of it, whatever. You probably didn't get one here, but say you found one or whatever, you want to post it, you can put it there. Or you're wanting to buy a new phone, new computer, you find a good sale on computers like good MacBooks or iMacs or whatever, or you find a good sale on Mac Minis, you can post them here. And so I want you to use this as a place to, since we're going to meet once a week, to kind of build a community through this discussion board. I'll be leaving this one alone, pretty much, letting you guys man it and have fun with it. Just be respectful of each other is all I ask. Let's see, help. This one is if, say it's on a weekend, on a Saturday, you're trying to figure something out, can't get to work. I'll a lot of times we'll email you this link to on my website using TeamViewer. I can remote into your computer to help you, or I can remote into these computers here. Let's say you're here during lab time. I can remote into these computers while you're sitting there to help you as well using this. And TeamViewer is totally free to use, and so I use it. And so the instructions are here to how to do it, but I might use that at times. Course success. So in order to successfully complete the course, it's not real difficult to do, by the way. You show up, for number one, do your reading before the class starts, any discussions, programming assignments prior to coming into class, have them kind of, went over your head and looked at it at least. There might be some video some weeks I'll have you read or watch before the class, but you'll have plenty of time to do that. I'll give you heads up on when to do that. Make sure and use a source code. Each week I'll have source code of the complete app done 100%, but you're allowed to tweak that code and make it your own, and I'll give you extra credit for doing that. So I'll give you like an example every week. I'll give you one of the first ones is a Hello World and a real simple math app. But anyway, like say you want to change the color of the background, add a picture into it, you get extra credit for doing that because you're actually doing more than what I required. It doesn't have to be a lot. Just tell me what you did though, and you get extra 20 points for doing it. If there is a podcast like what's being said right now and what you're watching on the overhead is being recorded. I record all in-class sessions. A lot of times I'll record if we have a group session online. I'll record that as well, just for you guys to watch later, or somebody might have missed it. They can have that as a resource. And I found this too. I'm a big believer in podcasting and screencasting. It helps you, for some students it helps because they can take that and rewatch it over and over again. And words sometimes don't work all the time by themselves. Words and video, audio and video together along with examples will sometimes help a student get over a bump, get over some type of learning that they're needing help with. And example, I had a student that took this course, I think it was the fall 2013, and she had taken it the spring before I had started podcasting everything on this class. Anyway, in the fall, when she took it, she passed flying colors because she was able to go over every assignment, the video I do for every assignment, over and over again, like watch it like 5 times. And she didn't have to be embarrassed of asking me 5 times in an email, which I told her, you don't have to be. It's what I'm getting paid for. But she was. But she used the videos to help her to get the lessons and to get the assignments. And she made an A that semester because of that. And so podcasting works, and I'll talk about in a second. iTunes U, some of you might have heard of or used before. We'll talk about that. We use that as well. Number 4, download and run the source code on your Mac, on these Macs here, within the exercise or assignment. Example, I suggest about 5 or 6 hours a week initially carving out for programming stuff. You might not need that much time, right? I know students that don't, but if you do, you do. So whatever it takes, you got to do it, and don't feel bad. And so, but you might get mid-semester and realize you've set your schedule up such and you're getting the hang of it to where you only have to maybe devote a couple hours a week or whatever it might be. And so give yourself plenty of time though. That way, if you do get stuck on something, you'll have time to play with it. Now, if you don't, I've learned this in life. If you don't schedule stuff for yourself on this way to do something, it doesn't get done. Okay, it makes sense, right? Same with your studies. Programming, this programming language is, I think, one of the funnest languages to learn, but it's still a language you got to learn. And so the more you spend time with it, the easier it's going to be for you to understand it, because there's going to be nuances about it that you're like, I don't get how that works. You might have to do it 5 or 6 times to get it, and that's normal. Because I always tell you, students, and you'll hear me say it this semester, If something's not working, a lot of times I'll tell students if they beat their head over and they just can't figure it out, start over. Just scratch it, start over. So it's kind of frustrating to do that, but it really works. It really does. And I can't explain it except the fact that it works, okay? There's probably a lot of reasons why it works, but just trust me that it works to do that. So on the reading, it's all online. There's no textbooks to purchase. There's actually some PDFs I'll have you download, or a PDF I'll have you download that I purchased for you guys to use, and I give me rights for you guys to use it. This link here is one of the links I have you, one of the many links I have you bookmark to my website and resources. There's also Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is a de facto website for all developers to use to search for anything they need help with in any language, not just Swift, but say C++ or Visual Basic or JavaScript. What a lot of colleges are doing now actually is replacing all textbooks and even online resources with Stack Overflow. The Stack Overflow is literally millions of developers pushing examples out and helping other developers with examples that they need help with. And so over time, what it's become is this master volume of code resources, basically. So anytime you search for any code help, one of the links at the top of your search is always going to be usually Stack Overflow. It's going to come from that. And so Stack Overflow is a good source. Take a short break if you have a, also next steps, take a short break. Then lastly, start back coding. Now, on number 6, it says ask only for help after you've exhausted steps 3 steps above. If you still need help, take a break. Like it says up here, do your reading, search online, take a break. If you still need help though, compress your project, send me an email, attach it, tell me what's wrong, what you need help with. Maybe you don't know what's wrong, you just need help. And I might sometimes say start over. And you're going to go like, oh, I could have done that, thanks. You could have figured that one out. But a lot of times though, what I'll do too is give you examples of why it's not working, and give you code snippets to where you can go, oh, okay, and then go back to your code and fix it, basically. So I don't fix it for you, but I give you enough information where you can fix it, if that makes sense. So you might look on this line, and here's an example of what I'm talking about to help you out. So that's course success. Each one of the assignments, by the way, programming assignments have a link to that course success page. Schedule a meeting. If you do need to schedule a meeting, I'll post in here. I don't think they're up yet. I think I might have a few dates available. No, I don't have any available yet. I'll post in here all my availability dates and change the, looks like my room number says 262 still. But the cool thing about this Calendly site is you can schedule either face-to-face or an online. If you don't want to come on campus, you don't need to come on campus, I don't mind meeting with you online at all. I have ways to do that. And we can do it from your phone, on a conference call. We can do it on a conference video thing on a computer. I can remote and have you remote into my computer from your computer and show you stuff, and you can ask me questions and vice versa. So we can do it that way as well. So here's where you would do that though. And again, I'll add the dates tonight when I get to the house. And I think I have them 15-minute slots. I think that's how it works. Snapchat, anybody use Snapchat? We will be using Snapchat starting this week on campus to post division news and events, all right? I think it's stories is what it's called in the Snapchat world. We'll be posting weekly stories of all the events. That's my level of Snapchat. That's about it for me on Snapchat. I don't do anything else but that is post stories. No, I have chatted with students on Snapchat. They've given me questions about the class and whatever. I don't mind doing that. But again, I'm not on Snapchat beyond just the stories, which it does work. I mean, I will say it works. One of the cool things I like about Snapchat is the geo filters. Like the event Tech Expo will have a geo filter for that building, right? The student center. So when you guys go into the Tech Expo building, which is the student center atrium, we'll have a custom geo filter where students like yourself can use Snapchat to post pictures and then use the geo filter on that photo. And the way geo filters work, those of you that don't use Snapchat, is if you're in a region or in a location that has a geo filter and take a picture, it'll be the first image that pops up for you to use on the bottom of that photo. And so they're pretty cool. I do like that. And one reason I like them, you can actually see how many people were involved in that event using those geo filters and kind of track it that way. So that's kind of cool. So we'll be doing that with Snapchat. So geo filters and daily stories. Okay, week 1, I emailed everybody about this, getting started in week 1. I won't read everything in here. I'm just going to highlight some things. If you've not had any Eagle training before and you need help, there's links to that on number 1. We'll be using this semester a journal for app journaling. We'll start in week 2 called penzu.com. It's a really cool tool to journal. And you're going to be journaling app ideas that you have and ideas each week that come to you in an app journal to kind of, and it's outside of Eagle. That way you can keep using it. You know, on average, myself, even as busy as I am, I have generally, 8 to 10 new app ideas a week that I think of, and I jot them down. I don't use this actually. I use just notes on my phone, but this is a great tool. Wish it was out when I first started, but this is just a way for you to post your thoughts in a private way, and basically, I will get a link. You'll share a link to your app journal each week that I have them in the assignment, and I don't have them posted yet in the assignments, by the way, because it's brand new. I just been researching it, and I really like it. There are a lot of different ones you can use. This one, I think you guys will really like it. So sign up for a free one on that, and you can use. I suggest when you sign up for anything this semester, unless I tell you otherwise, I suggest signing up with like your Gmail account outside of Rock Valley. That way you can keep using it after you leave campus. Does that make sense? So if you don't have a free Gmail account already, which most of you probably do outside of Rock Valley College email, definitely create one. About the course, already went over that. Register. Everybody will need to do number 4. Register with a brand new Apple ID. If you already have an Apple ID, I need a brand new one using specifically your S number. If you've had me before and already have done this, just you don't have to do it again. Just you'll have a spot to where you'll in just a second say you've done all this stuff. Have links in here how to create an Apple ID, where to go. Pretty simple. First name, last name, birth date, what email. This will be your Gmail if you have a Gmail account, or I'm sorry, your student account. Your S number at student.rockvalleycollege.edu. And to help you remember your password, here's a suggestion. Use your same password you use for RVC stuff for this account, for this cloud account. That'll help you remember it. And you do have some security questions to answer. But once it's set up, it says in here, if you do have an iOS device, and there's a link in here on how to set up things without using your credit card, which a lot of times Apple will prompt sometimes. You can set up your ID without using a credit card, which definitely read that. If you do have a MacBook or iMac at home, download the latest version of Xcode, which is Xcode 8.3.3. If you don't have a Mac at home, and red there, I've already talked about that, you can use the ones here on campus and do 100% okay doing that. You'll do fine. Number 6, this here is if you click on this, it should download it or start downloading it. It's iOS 10 PDF textbook. It's called 10 Essentials. That's what it looks like right here. So 844 pages. You will not be going over all 844 pages, by the way, this semester. But it's a great book. It's a great PDF for you to have. It's a great reference and resource. And so we'll be using that this semester for your reading. Most of your reading each week will come from that. There'll be some other resources beyond that, but most of your reading will come from that. Also, cheat sheet, you can download that one as well. There's also, if you have an iPhone or iPad or an iMac, you can download this book for Swift on programming. And you will, by the way, if you don't feel bad, because when you get your iPads, everybody in here, you'll be able to do all the stuff that says for iBook. You'll be able to do all that stuff on that. Stack Overflow, bookmark that. My website here, you can bookmark that. iOS course just came out. I just put that together. I'm still fleshing it out. So it's just a new website promoting coding here on campus. And so just bookmark it. There'll be more stuff coming on that. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Periscope. Other social media I recommend. My Twitter account, @ProfessorGeek, our division Twitter, @CIS280, and Professor Geek on Snapchat. Once you've completed all these, you'll say, I have completed above steps or above task below here, like Scott's done. And then joining the Google community. Once you join that, we'll start adding stuff probably the next week. In fact, generally I'll put in there like events, which we've not yet done this semester, app ideas, app links, stuff like that will be put in the Google community. I don't use that a lot, but I think it's good to be a part of Google community because there's so many people connected. And then about me, some of you have already done that. Just tell us about yourself. Read everybody's and then reply to at least 2 others at least. You don't have to, you can do more than that. But again, since we're only meet once a week, it's a good community kind of building thing. And this will stay up, by the way, throughout the semester, so you can keep going back to it if you want to, and have some good ones in here already. iTunes U, sign up for that, and follow the instructions on this link. And this works for Mac or PC both, iTunes does. And what it does is it's a free service from Apple to upload, for colleges to upload and share audio, video podcasts. In fact, I'll show you. You might have seen this on our website, our Rock Valley College website. Didn't know what it was. I'll show you here. This little apple here on our website that I'm hovering over. That's iTunes U. We've been apart since 2006. I met with Apple here on campus, and I'm kind of the guru of iTunes U, getting all faculty aboard on podcasting. Erin Fisher podcast here on campus. She teaches across the bridge. Got a number of science folks, math, biology. We do some podcasting. And so totally free. And here's what our page looks like on iTunes when I launch it. I think we've got roughly about 700 and some podcasts right now as we speak today, and about 50,000 subscribers worldwide to our podcast. And so you don't have to be you don't have to be a student to use iTunes U. That's why I like it, because it helps promote our courses, and it helps students like yourself, if you're interested in download that. Any other course, doesn't matter what it is. iTunes U is a great resource for you, because what you can do is research a course and subscribe to it, like through Stanford, MIT. These are colleges that offer iTunes U. And find out if you'd like to go down that road or take that type of course in the future, or even change degrees sometimes. I always tell students, if they're thinking about changing a degree, go to iTunes U, search for that degree up in the search menu, and find some colleges that teach that. Subscribe to podcasting, because you can subscribe to a whole semester of podcast, all the lectures, and determine whether or not you want to go into that. And so here's our campus and what we have on board. I do have a public PHP and iOS development course that's totally free for people, which is usually a semester behind. So what I do is I post content from each semester on these for anybody in the world to take. Like the PHP has like 26,000 students have taken that one. iOS just recently went on board. It's got like 8,000 that have taken it. And so it's just an intro course to iOS using content from this course. And so if you've never heard of iTunes U, definitely recommend using it beyond this class and playing with it. Like I'll just search like Spanish. My niece had a problem in high school. Anybody remember taking Spanish in high school? You remember any of it? I remember, yeah, a little bit. Como está usted? I don't know why I remember that. I don't know what it means, but I remember it. What I just say is. Okay. So I forget that even. Right. All right. So here's Spanish, right? And if I go down to iTunes U stuff, tons of stuff and courses I can look at. Arkansas, Boyle City Public, ECIS, whatever that is. But if I keep going down, I can just look for like podcasts, books, podcasts. Here we go. Here's the one I think we actually researched. This is the one she actually ended up using. Was Coffee Break Spanish. And that's 40 episodes, and each one's about 20 minutes, but really, really good podcast on learning, beginner learners of Spanish. Inflection, things of that, that she had to learn. And again, it brought her from a D in that class to a B in a semester in high school. And so it works. And so if you need help with other courses, you can get help, tutoring help, literally through podcasts and iTunes U. It'll help you. It'll help Shelby tremendously. But also, too, if you're wanting to find out about whether or not you want to go into something, you can also register. Let's say I'll do Spanish at Arkansas, and they've got all videos, by the way, because the little icon there means it's a video. Each one of these are. And so it looks like they break it down pretty good as well. And they have ratings and reviews, just like everything. But once you subscribe to it, it's a one-time thing, and any new podcasts come downloaded to your computer the next day, or that whenever it's ready, within like the hour or whatever. So podcast, iTunes U. And again, for some of you, this might be a whole new world. You've never even seen this before. Everything I'm showing you here is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. So like I teach photography, I have all my photography students do the same thing. Let's do iOS Swift. Look how much resources are here on Swift. Stanford was one of the very first colleges that taught iOS development. It's still one of the number one. And so that's why they came up top of the research when I clicked on it. But great resource as well. They got some videos. What's cool about iTunes U is they also let you put in these where it says slides. These are PDFs. And so I can also upload audio, video, and PDFs as well, which is nice. But again, once you subscribe to it, you get all the content as if you're sitting in a Stanford iOS class. That's pretty awesome. Harvard even they've been around a while they've been around a few years, I think Harvard has, right? So they've got an iOS class too. And so the reason I'm showing you this is promoting other iOS courses and other resources is great because it helps you as a student learn more and learn a richer learning experience. So I don't pretend or even ever say I know everything in development. And I learn things. I haven't been subscribed to Stanford. I'm subscribed to MIT. I'm subscribed to Harvard. And I talk to the professors all the time. And a lot of them, those guys that helped me when I first started in spring 2013 to teach the class because they've been doing it already for like 2 years. And so why not? And so use iTunes U for what it's worth. And there's even fun. Somebody tell me your favorite band. Anybody want to volunteer your favorite band you listen to? Come on. I know you got some. Somebody said something back here? Lincoln Park? Lincoln Park. All right. Let me see if I can type that in right. L-I-N-K. This is I think it's one of my son's favorite bands. Is that right? L-I-N-K-I-N, right? Got that right. All right. We'll do Linkin Park. Let's see what we got out there. All right. So, yeah, we got songs for sure. But let's see if we have any podcasts. There we go. Linkin Park, official DJ. Let's see what we got. Rolling Stones. And so these are podcasts that actually probably, I'm guessing, interview Linkin Park, if I was to guess. But also you can search for, let's see. What do they have on iTunes U on Linkin Park? I don't know what that means. Songs, albums, podcast. Okay. Another example. Give me a hobby you like to do. Any hobby. What is it? Baseball. There we go. Baseball. Baseball. Okay. All right. There'll be tons of stuff on baseball. I already know. All right. Podcast on baseball. Oh yeah. There'll be a lot of them. Let's see here. And the top podcasts, they sort them by top podcasts. So number one here, baseball, Travis and Teresa McElroy. And let's see here, ESPN, MLB, Buster. There we go. Baseball Tonight. There we go. So here's the baseball one. And Baseball Tonight. Pretty late. It looks like August 21st is the latest one. Start 'em Young, 55 minutes. Podcast about baseball. So anything you want, you can find a podcast. Any genre, any technology, any hobby, and you can subscribe to it for totally free. And it doesn't cost anything. And a lot of people don't take advantage of it. So I'm asking you to research it on your own this first week. I got time. And subscribe to a few podcasts of stuff you like to do, like baseball, photography, Linkin Park, and any other genre you like. Definitely recommend it. So that's iTunes U. Questions about that? All right. Next is iPad, iPhone. If you do have an iPad or iPhone, just say yes or no. And this one, pretty simple. UDID. This one sounds complicated, but it's really easy. Your phone has a built-in UDID. It's kind of like your car's VIN number. All right. Everybody should have hopefully have a unique VIN number for your car, unless it's been stolen. Somebody scrubbed it, put a new one on there. But in order for yourself, family, and friends to install the apps you create this semester, we'll need your UDID of your iPhone or iPad. Now, if you don't have an iPad or iPhone, you will be getting one. I'll collect those before I give them to you, by the way. So when you have it, you'll already have that information. But if you already have family or friends that have an iOS device, all you need to do is send them this information right here, steps 1 through 7, and it'll end up sending me their UDID. I add it to the apps, our app developer section in Apple's developer website. And then all it is a link they'll get, and they click on the link and it installs the apps that you create. That's it. Pretty simple. And so once you give these instructions to family or friends, or you can even do it for them. I've done this a lot, just do it for them. A lot of times it's easier. Submit below the names of those folks, so I'll kind of know how many we have. Make sense? Questions on that? Again, if you don't have any family or friends you've done this with, you can just put NA if there's no iPhones or iPad in your family or friends, which I'm guessing there probably will be. Everybody has somebody that has an iPhone or iPad that you can definitely help test your stuff and play with your stuff that you've created, your apps. Reading for this week, between now and next week, is chapter 1, 3, 5 through 7 on that downloaded PDF that I went over earlier. And I suggest also using Swift Playground to test out code between now and next Monday. When you get the lab times, you'll be able to come in here and play around with the Swift Playground code. And all the Swift Playground code is going to show you, by the way, is beginning lessons on how to declare an integer, how to declare a variable, how to put your name in there and change it, how to calculate something. Pretty simple, really simple stuff. And this is the a slideshow you can look at. This here is a podcast you're listening to now for week 1. And the in-class playground here, and this one I'm actually going to have you do because of time here. I'm going to actually have you do this outside of class between now and next Monday to give you time to do it. But I will show you, if you want to watch on the overhead, what it looks like. That way you kind of get a preview here, and I'll do it for you, no pressure. And then you can just watch and then do it on your own between now and next Monday. And then I will have us start up Swift in just a second. And by the way, when you download a zip file on a Mac computer, it automatically unzips it for you, like this one did. And so that's nice. So that helps a little bit time-wise. You'll also get, if there's anything downloaded, that little prompt I just clicked OK on about opening something from the internet, you'll get that as well. Okay, so here's code, and you'll notice a lot of it's in green from where you're sitting. And all it means by being green is it's commented out. All right, this has been commented out. And playground is, again, like I told you earlier, something that is a way to learn development in an easier way. So let me see if I can change my screen resolution here so we can see it a little bit better. It's really small. And we'll just play around with playground for like 3 to 4 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, and show you what it looks like. Let me make the screen a little bit bigger. All bigger. All right, that's all right. Okay, and let me make sure this didn't cancel on me. All right, cool. All right. So here's Swift Playground. Hopefully you guys see it a little better. You'll notice here at the top of my code, it has import UI kit. All that means is user interface kit. This Swift Playgrounds is a var str equals is the telling that this here is a string. This str is now a string, is all it's saying. And if I make this a little bit bigger to where you can see everything, bring it down a little bit more. Still launching my simulator. Taking forever. Anyway, while this is spinning, these little 2 dashes here, 2 dashes here, 2 slashes, is for a comment on that line. It's a comment. And everywhere that's green, you'll see is a comment. All right, cool. It finally went away. So let's go back to the normal. Trying to get my screen to, I think I'm going to close this and reopen it since it's taking forever. All right, so let me reopen it. So do me a favor while this is waiting. At the bottom of your Mac, if you ever click on Xcode, at the bottom of your Mac, it's that icon right there. This is what we'll be playing with starting next week in class. As soon as you click Xcode, on the upper left of your Mac now, there should be a menu that says Xcode File, Edit, View. Everybody see that? If you'll click on File, New, Playground. And you should get this come up, right? So My Playground. We'll just leave it like that. iOS is a platform. It should be by default. And then click Next. Once you click Next, it's going to prompt you to save it at a location. Let me do mine again. Mine went too fast. And you want to make sure and save it on, click on the left side here of your Mac. If you look on the overhead, see my mouse, I'm going to click on desktop here on the left. Make sure you do that. Click on the desktop here on the left, the word desktop. Then go create. Click the create button. Then we should be in business, hopefully. There we go. And it should come up there and says, right now it will say import UI kit var str equals hello world. I want you to replace hello playground with hello, and then I want you to put in there Rock Valley College. Rock Valley College, and make sure and end it in quotes. And then hit enter. I'll come around halfway. Oh, that's fine. Here. Yeah, you got a similar, so that's all right. I'll come on up. Then click desktop on the left. Left side for you, desktop. Create. And then change the word playground to Rock Valley College. Cool. Great. Now change Rock Valley College to your first and last name. Did you log in with the CIS280? All files at the time. Go to that. And then Macintosh HD. So click on users. CIS280. That's fine. And we'll change playground to your first and last name. Just change the word playground to your first and last name. Good. I'll come around help everybody there. Great. What? Just go up to click on the Xcode folder once, and then go to the upper left corner. Mac, File, File menu. Not Xcode. New, and then Playground. And then next. And then double click on desktop on the left. And then click create. Just a second. You'll place the word playground with your first and last name. You should see it show up on your screen. Just a second. Yep. Yeah, I'll take a second to get everybody going. I'll go. Yeah, now put your cursor on the end of replace playground with your first and last name. Yeah, just yeah. Just put your first and last name. And end up with a quote. should show up in a second on the right. File. Just let it sit there. Cursor on the right here. Now let's go back and change the playground or change the playground setting. First lesson. Second with that. Cool. Anybody else need help on the other side over there? Got it? No? All right, cool. So again, this is just a real quick example of playground. Now I'm going to show up on the overhead the other file. A little bit bigger so you guys can play with some stuff. So here's what I want you to do. And we're just going to keep you another minute on this one. At the very top of your code, above import statement, actually let's do it below the var str equals hello playground. I want you to type in the lines here I've highlighted on the overhead. Let me see if I can turn this light down where you can see better. So comment, 3 comment lines, your student name, put your full name, today's date, August 21st, 2017, and then CIS280.
Do you want us to label it?
Yeah, just literally type that in just like I have highlighted, except you'll put your full name in there instead of where it says your full name. And today's date. So for fun here, I'm going to put mine in here. And most programs that you do and most code that you do, and you'll find that out this semester, you want comments to explain not only who developed it, but what it's doing. Okay? And so what I want you to do, once you put in that information, like I put in my name, today's date, and then CIS280, I'm going to hit enter and put a new comment in there. And I'm just going to put in learning Swift code. So you can do the same thing. And now I'm going to show you some fun stuff to do. All right. I'll copy it on mine and put it on the other one that's kind of cleaner. All right. Sure got everything. I'm going to move some stuff over here so you'll see it better. Okay. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you an example of declaring a variable, using that variable, and then making it go to the screen, print it out to the screen. So here's what you want to do. Underneath what I've already had you type in, I want you to type in this line, which is var str full name equals, and then your first and last name. Okay, and you can type in the rest of it as you see on the overhead there, except you're going to be replacing it with your information, and you don't have to type in the green lines, which are just comments. Only the non-green lines, which are the non-comment lines. So first one, I have you type in your full name. Second one is how old you are right now, which is an explicit, implicit type, which we'll talk about what those are in just a second. And then your age. It'll just kick it out again. Declare it there. And then down here at the bottom, notice I changed my age, my age to 47. Then I can change it again to 46. We'll talk about that in just a second. Those numbers there, by the way, all the numbers I want you to put in is your actual real age. So you know mine's 25, 25, 47, 46. You'll put in whatever your real age is on all of them. Then we'll play with that. I'll show you what it looks like. Because you can declare a variable is either a VAR, which you can change downstream, or an LET, which is a constant, which can't be changed. VAR has to be lowercase. The V has to be lowercase. You don't have to put the comments in, though. No comments. You can't want to. Don't have to. That should show up. And then just type in the rest of them. There, int the let, int age, the what? There, int my age, and int my age. Almost got it. And all this is going to show you just a second is today's lesson anyway on variables is the different types of variables, how you can declare them and use them throughout your code. So I'll give you another couple moments there to finish that up. It's on the screen. Again, you're just typing in what's non-green, non-commented lines to speed things up. We're going to change some stuff here, though, to show you what happens when we do in just a second. No big hurry. You guys are doing great.
It doesn't matter how many spaces you put.
No, doesn't matter how many spaces. Nope. Just so it shows up there on the right side, like it does mine. You're good. If it shows up, you're good. If it doesn't,
What does the INC say?
do what now?
The INC integer.
It is case sensitive, yes.
That's what INC says.
Yeah, right. That one you can change. That's what we're going to play with. In my age is what we're going to play with in just a second. Somebody's still working on that? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. You notice at the top, we declared your name, which was what's called an implicit declaration, meaning because your name is in quotes, it's implicitly saying to this variable str full name, it's a string. Now this could be whatever we want to call it. Str full name can be whatever we want to call it. The reason I use this naming convention, str, it tells me as a developer downstream, or some other developer looks at it, this is a string variable. Full name is just what the variable's objective is, what its job is. In this instance, is to hold the data type for full name. That's it. The word var is all lowercase, it has to be all lowercase. It tells that the variable can be changed downstream. Okay, there's two types of variables, a var and let, L-E-T. Let is a constant that can't be changed downstream. VAR can be changed. So a couple rules of to note, and I'm not a real sticker on it, it just helps you as a programmer, is when you're declaring a variable, make sure to put whatever type of variable it is in front. And this one's really easy, str's string. And then bookcase for the name. So full name, caps F and caps N. Okay. Then if I want to explicitly declare a type, I would do this. I did var str years old, and notice colon int equals 25. That means I'm explicitly declaring it. And generally, that's the way you want to declare things, is that you want to explicitly declare it as a type. Now, there are instances where you don't do that, like arrays and stuff you'll learn about this semester, where an array can have multiple types of variables, and you wouldn't declare it that way. Now, a constant, this is your real age. I told you to put your real age. Well, I'll put mine in. Yes, I just turned this summer, 50. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to uncomment mine, but you're going to have to actually type it in. You're going to have to type in below that int age equals, and then change it to some other number. I put 35, which I do remember 35. It's not too long ago. But go ahead and try to do that. try to change it to something else from what your age is. And you should get a little red dot to the left of it. If you click on that red dot, it'll actually tell you what's wrong, which is great about Playground. And by the way, Swift does this as well. Notice it says on mine, I cannot assign a value to value. Int age is a let constant. To fix it, change let to var to make it mutable. So literally I can do that. I can do what it tells me to do or just get rid of that. Now if I click on this right here, if you do it with me, actually, you can actually just double click on this fix it line. It'll change that let to var for us automatically, like I just did. Okay. But let's say you didn't want that. That warning will tell you you can't do that. An example of a let variable would be like a tax rate. Tax rate don't change, right? What else doesn't change as far as number, as far as economy? What things don't change when you go to buy something? We know tax. I already said that. Anything else? What?
Price.
Yeah, the price. That's going to be static. It's going to be a let variable there. Anything else? So that's probably the two. You want to be able to fudge probably the subtotal to where if you want to discount it or something like that, or add a coupon to it, that might be a var. But we can have let as a price and the tax. So that's an example of var and let, kind of help you understand those two. Now if we go down below and notice here the one you already typed in, var int age equals, I told you to put your real age in there. I'll put 50 there. I can change it though. Let's go ahead and change it though on the second int age to something younger maybe. Or maybe you want it to be older. Doesn't matter, whatever you want to do. I'm going to do mine 25. So as soon as I change it and go to the new line below, it updates it. So now int my age now, instead of being 50, like it is on this line, it's now 25. All right. Now, we're going to start this next week, but I'm going to show you here before we're done with this. What we can do with the variables that we just used up above is we can, what's called programming, is we can concatenate these together or attach them together, string them together to be one line. So you notice on mine, it says my name is Chuck Conkle, my age is 25 because I just changed up there. But notice I have a variable I declared called str my age equals, and then in quotes. And in order to put variables in a string, all I have to do is use this backslash and in parentheses the variable name. And my age is backslash variable name. And you'll notice the variable name shows here, the variable name shows here. Lastly, what I did here is print it together. What this does is just prints it out as it is here on the screen. My name is Chuck Conkle. My age is years old. The /n is for new line. Okay, so you can type that in real quick if you want. Not a lot of typing, but I'll stretch it out to where you can see a little better there. So two prints I do. One is with a new line. The second is without a new line, which is all one line basically. And you'll learn this semester different things you can put in there in your code, in your string here to force it to a new line. Like a /n we'll use for new line. Just basically like hitting the return key on your keyboard. So at the end of the day, on the right side, you should have your code show up. And in Playground, on the bottom, the printouts will show up right here at the bottom is where it'll show up. And what that's doing is, the difference is this. On the right side for a developer, what's cool about it is you can see things happening as you're typing, as you can see. When you declare a variable or anything, it tells you immediately, is that going to work? Is that calculation going to work? Is this logic going to work? And if it doesn't, then you save yourself some time. And then the bottom part, the printouts, are what you would generally use this code. Actually, you can generally use all this code. Actually, you can generally use in a real application. But a playground is you're just playing with it, and that's what's perfect about playground for the first 3 or 4 weeks. We'll be playing with it. Is you're learning code in a fun way that's not real hard to start. And what's great about what I'm showing you here is when you get the iPads, you can do playground on the iPad exactly like you're doing here. And that's what's really nice. The other cool thing about playground you'll learn next week is you can bring in images real easily. Apple has, hundreds of thousands of images in its library you can bring in playground to play around with it. So we'll show you how to do that next week. So what do you guys think of playground? Pretty fun, right? A lot of fun to do. You'll learn more, by the way. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, exactly. And so again, it's just a real good learning tool. And Apple did create this when they created Swift as a playground variable. Now here's what I want you to do, regardless of where this is at right now. Well, I'm not going to have you upload this or save it or anything right now. I'm just going to have you go to the File menu in Xcode and go to Close Playground. I got 2 of them open, so I'll have to do it twice. And so that was my little, oh, by the way, you just created your very first playground app in Swift. For some of you, it's the very first time, maybe even coded before. And so awesome, great job. Switch this back to lower resolution or high resolution where I can see the screen better. Okay, so before next week, in fact, on this in-class exercise, let's do this. Since you've already done most of it with me together, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be nice today. I generally am nice all the time anyway. So what I want you to do is where it says complete and together and do a file upload of it, what I'm going to do now is show you how to zip together that file that you just did, regardless of where it's at. I know it's not complete, but I'm going to say it is. And here's what you're going to do. If you'll minimize your screens on your Mac down to the desktop, okay? And you should see that playground file on your desktop somewhere. Everybody see it? All you're going to do, I'm going to show you how real quick to compress this file, and then you're going to commit it or submit it to week 1 in class. So if you look at your keyboard, the lower left key on your keyboard, is Control. Press and hold the Control key, and then click with your mouse anywhere, it doesn't matter, on that file, on that playground file. And it should get this prompt that comes up. And what you've just done in the Mac world is you've done a simulated right click, like you're used to doing with the Windows mouse. Okay, Control click is a right click. Go down to compress, the word compress, where mine says compress my playground.playworld or playground. And it should have showed up on your desktop now like this. And all I'm going to have you do is rename that zip file. Just click on it once, like mine. If I click on it once, you'll notice the .zip stays in there. And I'm just going to have you put your last name in place of that long My Playground name. So that concal.zip is what you're going to upload into week 1 in class. Okay, I'll do this again to show you how I did it. Control click on the playground, compressed it. If it's not there, I'll come by and help you. I'll help you find it. And then this is the file you're going to upload into week 1. So if it's not there and you need help, let me know. I'll help you find it. And just do it. Control click it, plus. Then click on that zip file once. Put your last name in there, and then that's what you look. Got this one. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, but some of you might put in your download by accident, maybe instead of in the desktop. And once you upload it into Eagle, again, it might be first time for some of you. It'll tell you. I just go to hit the submit, browse out, and go to your desktop once it comes up. There it is. And then click and then submit. And it should give a timestamp on the upper right corner of when you uploaded it. So yours says turned in at 5:57. Great. Okay, just go to, actually, the quickest way, you go over here in modules, and you go to week 1, scroll down to week 1 in class. It's going to be down in class and exercise. And submit assignment. And then hit browse. Choose file. And it pops up. You should be able to see it on your desktop. Choose and submit. Anybody else need help on uploading? Okay, so that's the in-class. For your assignment, there is a Swift project, which is a playground one, just like we did in the in-class, but expanded a little bit. So between now and next Monday, you'll complete that, do the same thing we did in here. You'll compress it, upload it when you're done, be complete. Sound good? Questions about what's due or what's reading for next week? We already went over that, which is in the week 1 reading. Have that done between now and next week. And then week 2, you'll notice it's a lot shorter here on week 2. But we'll do an in-class together after our discussion, which, by the way, the in-class is always building upon your assignments, building upon your in-class, basically, is what you'll do each week. All right? We'll look forward to a great semester. If you have any questions, come up and see me. Those of you that didn't check in before you left with your QR code, come up and see me, and I'll make sure you get checked in. See you next week. Look forward to sending an email to you and send it out to you real quick tonight after I get home.
So we just download that Swift project and quick file download?
Yes, correct. Yep.
My code to check in is on my computer.
Doing that?
It's on my computer, so I don't know how
Oh, your QR? Do you have basically your, I sent it to your RBC email. Do you have it on your phone?
I only have the Canvas one here.
Okay.
So I have to. So I just like email it, like my regular email.
Basically, what it is it's an image I sent you in an email. You can do it next week.
Well, I have it. I'm saying like, I don't know how.
Oh, you got it on your-
Yeah. I just don't know how to send it.
Oh, okay. I can show you. You can take a picture of it.
Oh, I can. What's this one?
Just take a picture of that. Just and we'll use that. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yes, you will be in here longer. So not the first time, no. But yes, you will. Yep. You can still hang out here. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you guys can definitely hang out longer. You have to allow till 7:15. All right, where's the? Right there. Yeah, the last hour generally is open lab time that we'll have.
Then my show.
Yep. There you go. Is that you?
Yep.
All right, you're good to go. You're checked in.
All right, so where do I go for the email for that? Is it just
Rock Valley College email?
yeah,
Okay.
it's just Rock Valley College?
Yeah, Rock Valley College EDU, and then we'll go to My Receipt, top. Let's see, student email. And check it there, and then when you find it, let me know.
So check the homework was the reading, right?
Homework is reading for between now and week 2.
And
Yep.
was there any thing we need to do else besides reading before the next class?
No.
Okay.
No.
So we don't have to do the assignment.
Well, the assignments do, but he was asking before next class, just reading. So, yeah. And then generally, like I said, we'll have this class till 7:15.
Mhm.
First night generally don't keep you that long. And so, but the last hour is generally going to be open lab.
Can we do
like
that
6:15 to
assignment before
7:15?
next
Yeah. I have a lot of students actually use that last hour to do their assignment of the week. Yeah, you can definitely do that. So you can hang out if you want to.
So the
It's up to
assignment
you.
one we can work on next class. I'm confused.
For week 1, which is this week, you can actually work on it till you have this class until this classroom's open to you till like 7:25.
Right.
So yeah, you can definitely do it. Or you just come in at a lab time later this week if you want to do it. But I'll be sending an email to you guys tonight on when the lab times are. Perfect. Sound good? Yeah.
So you can just scroll up on there and here. I'm just confused. There's a lot of information.
Yes.
So, I mean, what am I looking at here? There's
For week 1,
I just want to make sure I don't miss anything.
yeah, the only thing, well, there's a lot of little stuff this week. You got the week 1 task, check all that off. About me, which went over that.
That's a file.
A lot of little stuff. A lot of stuff is like yes, no, did that, did this. But between what's due between now and Sunday is the week 1 task, about me, subscribe to iTunes U, that one. The week 1 reading is on assignment. It's just a reminder of what's due for the next week or what you should have read by the next week.
So if you go up for a second, can you scroll up
Yeah.
for me? All the way up.
Yeah, this is all just course
This
document
is all
stuff.
in your module, but if you go to announcements or grades,
I'm in my view. Let me go to the student view.
yeah, I thought it was looking at different. Let's see.
Oh yeah, it does. So you should just have that up in announcements, and then,
So that's where I check to see to make sure basically I've
Yeah.
done everything.
right,
That should be like
correct.
where I really check everything.
Yeah, definitely.
So
That's
those
what
I
you want
click
to
on,
do.
if I click on all of those individual links, and I'm good.
Yeah, it'll take you
All
right
that?
to. Yeah, it'll take you
Okay.
right. And August 27th is the correct date when week 1 stuff's due. But you'll notice after the first week it drops down. So
Yeah,
you
it's-
generally have 3 or 4, usually 3, I think, is what it generally is
And
each
then
week.
one
first week's all
the
little stuff.
in-class exercise. That's where I put that zip file. It's where you want
Yeah,
it.
that is. Let's see. Not that one. This one here. Yeah. The only. Yeah. And so then the assignment is basically a piggyback on the in class that we did. You have a file you start with, and then you make some changes like you did in here. When you're done with it, you compress it and send it to me. Sound good? But yeah, it's a lot less work after week 1. Week 1's a lot of little bitty stuff. Yeah. And did you check in by chance? You did not. Did you get your phone?
I have my phone.
You have a phone? Do you have your RBC email set up on it?
I just heard you. I
Just go
checked
to the
email.
web?
I took a picture of that QR, the QVC code.
You did? Okay. Well, you can come
Yeah,
over here and I'll
right.
show you how to check in. Yeah, for sure. So if you have the QR code, just go ahead and tap that green button. And then put the QR code in front of the screen, and it should recognize you. Might have to go a little closer. Then your name will show up, and you are checked in.
Okay. Is
Sound
that
good?
for every class?
Every class, yeah, and we'll have it open. I'll have it up here by 4:15. If you have any questions about anything, shoot me an email. All right? Yeah, you're welcome. You figured out? Still checking?
The UDID thing is working.
Do what now?
Does the UDID only work in Safari? Because I was trying to open it.
Oh, the UDID me?
I opened it in Firefox.
I bet Safari might be the one you want to use. Yeah, try that. If you just type in udid.io in the web browser URL, it should bring it up. udid.io.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so let's see here. Let's go to.
Does it matter that it took that email?
Yeah, you want your Rock Valley College email.
Dang Google Plus.
So you'll need to log in with your college email on that interface. Yes, sir.
I had a question.
Yeah.
One relating to the class.
Yeah,
Will we learn, so say once we develop whatever we're developing, will we learn how to like link it with accounts? So we learn charge money like $1 on the app, or we learn how to link and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That was just one of my
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Then I run for this one. That was one. So I'm trying to like when I get it here.
Yeah,
trying
it's
to install
the right
it.
version.
Yeah, it says Xcode can be installed because I have like that region. So I mean, would I just download like?
Let me see here what you got. What version of Mac you got here? Yeah, you want Sierra.
Is that the version I want?
Yep, you want Sierra, which you should be able to download for free, and then you'll need Sierra to install Xcode, the version we use anyway.
All right.
Make sense?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I just download. All right.
Yep.
So
It
that's
doesn't
what I
cost
was-
anything, so that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
That's nice. Just takes time.
And I also didn't see that like we were supposed to be working on the Concord one, and I was working on the actual assignment one.
Oh, that's all right.
I have it basically
You just
almost
re-download it again. No
done.
big deal. Yeah, on that end class, it's an exercise. It's not-
Yeah,
I'm not
all you have
looking
to do
for
is
anything.
change or make strings your name and stuff.
Yeah, and like I said in class before you guys submitted it, I'm just looking to make sure that you get an idea of what Swift Playground is. You know how to compress a file, and you know how to upload it. Because you'll be doing that each time you come to class and in the class, and also on your assignments. Because for most students or not haven't played with Macs before, just navigating a Mac is big.
Yeah,
it's a little learning curve.
different.
Not bad, but it takes a little bit.
Yeah, my girlfriend has a Mac and I'm PC. So.
Yeah, like the right click thing and the how it deals with file, zip files and stuff like that. But you guys are used to it. It's not too hard. The learning curve. It's pretty easy, I think. And generally, the first night, people always have a lot of questions afterwards, so I usually end it because there's two. Figure it out. You have to log in your address number.
I had to create a new.
You did? A new account?
Because it wasn't.
You hadn't signed in yet to your email?
I did, and then it took me to Google Plus.
That's weird.
Yeah. I don't really know what's going on.
I'm guessing you were already signed in with that username on Gmail? That one you showed me? That might be
I'm
it too.
guessing so, but I changed it, but then it didn't take it as that.
Yeah, the way it works on the RVC, if you log in through the interface they have on the web, you have to be logged off of all instances of Google before you.
See, that's my.
Yeah, okay, good. You're in there then. Let's see. Now let's do this. I'm going to go back to the selfie. We'll go back to bring up the Rock Valley College website for me. All right. Cool.
See, now it's signing me in as my normal email.
All right, let's do it this way. You'll have to wipe that out.
I don't know.
Here's what we can do. I can text it to you. No big deal. Let's do it that way. All right. Let's see here. All right. And your first name.
Breck, B-R-E-C-K.
Got it. All right. And I'm gonna. Okay, what's your phone number?
815-977-1126.
1126?
Yep.
All right, I just sent you. You should be getting a link in your text message.
Okay, this locked.
Oh, yeah. Let's see, make sure you got your text message. Let me know if you got it. When you get the link from me, or the text message, it should have a link in the text message. We'll click on that. Oh yeah. Now we just do this. Click on that and save it to your pictures. So each week you'll have it there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? All right. Anyone else need help logging in to the device up here, the iPad? Or need help in general? Yep. Oh, that's what I was telling him on the in class. If you submitted that assignment, don't worry about it. It really was just an exercise for you to get a little bit familiar with Playground. Not compress, no, you don't need to redo it. But definitely do on the assignment. It's another download to start with.
Yeah,
This is what you've done.
That's when I started.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, just do that.
So you want
Good. That's all I gotta do. Since you already did it once, it's a matter of just compressing it and sending it.
basically, yeah.
That's easy. How you doing?
I'll see you tomorrow.
But basically, the way it is that like these are comments. So the comments are just to read, okay? And then as you get down, there's going to be, is this the assignment one or the in class? Okay. And so again, a lot of these are examples of what to do, what to do, what to do. And as we keep going down, there you go. So here on the exercise, I say declare a string variable for your first name. So like we said in class, you remember when you declare a variable, it's got to have two types of variables. It could be var or let. So which one do you think you want to use? Change. Yep, you're right. Oh, you're right. You got let space and then right. You got let space and then so those comments are going to tell you what I need you to do to help you on the exercise. You can look if you get lost on what the exercise asks for. You can look above and there's examples. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So the above is kind of a resource to help understand the lesson exercise, and then the exercise is just doing something from scratch. So up, all the way up above this line is all example stuff. Some of it is reading, that's showing what it does reading, showing what it does reading. And so just use those as examples. And then when you get to that exercise line, if you get stuck on one of them, you can go above to find out what you should be doing. Oh yeah. Well, actually, you're just going to complete that one. You'll put your text right inside there. So underneath that is where you'll put the variable for first name, here, put the variable for last name, so on and so forth. So right underneath that comment line is where you'll put your actual code. What? All right.
I saw when I came back to this.
Yeah.
Just to look at it. I saw this earlier. But I was wondering, what we were doing.
Oh, it gets variables on it.
Yeah. So,
Oh, and redeclaration, yeah. So, so in age, you're redeclaring it here. Well, I should tell you actually too.
should I say in my
In my age, it'll be redeclared. So let me declare first right here. Oh, you got it in there twice. You want to declare it twice. Sure that. Undetermined string literal. What's that? See this, it looks like strings. So here, what's it says right here? So in my age, is it already been done already? See it? So, yeah, so you don't need to declare it again. You can actually get rid of it or just get rid of the there. Get rid of the there, delete that. in my age now, it's 18 instead of 21. Here's just misspelled. It's like, there, it's good. It's hard once.
I don't know why it like, space.
Yeah, it'll do that too. And what will happen is if you hit space, and say that line's kind of long anyway, so when you hit space, it's going to wrap it to the next line.
So I'd have to, but I should say that space.
Yeah, like I just showed you. Yeah. If you have an issue where it's not showing you on the line, that little bit of time, I can show you. Close, like I just did earlier, close it out, reopen it, let it sit there and compile. What we'll do is that red dot where the arrow is will show Google right on the bottom. Because that way, if you don't have that, you don't know exactly where it's at. You can find it looking at it. It's nice to have that right on the line. That makes sense.
It's like, about like pretty much all these questions that I'm asking you were good.
Exactly. And then also too, on the assignment, the playground assignment, it has a whole bunch of comments to read. And at the bottom of the playground is an actual exercise.
Okay, so like
Reinforces.
like practice.
Yeah. A whole bunch of practice and examples. And then at the very bottom of that assignment one is an exercise, like 5 or 6 lines, comments. You have to put your code in each one.
And the cheat sheet, is that just gonna say like this?
Yeah, cheat sheet just helps you see some of the variable declarations, variable types, how to do them. And it's good to have. It's good to have just for reference sake. Cheat sheet. Yeah.
In like school, I had a designing class.
Sure.
We did, like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is where they like your money is bringing back.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Comment. In fact, in HTML, you can make comments much like a script. Yeah. In HTML. Yeah. There's a single, and we'll talk more about it next week. But there's 2 types of comments. You can do a single line comment, which is just 2 dashes, the 2 slashes, or multi-line comment, which is you start with a slash, asterisk, and you can type whatever you want to, and then end it with an asterisk slash. It's the same exact thing you can do in HTML. It's the same syntax and everything. So, yeah, you're welcome. I know when they created Swift, a lot of the logic in Swift comes from JavaScript and basic HTML. Because those are the 2 languages that are fairly easy to pick up and remember how to use once you start using them. And so, yeah,
I
that.
don't remember like pretty much anything.
Yeah. It was just like riding a bike. If you don't do it all the time, you're gonna forget. But once you get back on it, slowly get better. It'll come back to you. Yes, sir. How's it going?
I'm all right. How about you?
Good. What you need?
I'm trying to see if